This one's going to be set up a little bit different than our regular mobility. I'm going to be moving through the movements with you, and it's just going to be one video. So this one's going to be focusing on the hips and lower extremity. Let's get started. We're going to start on hands and knees. We're just going to do cat-cow. So you breathe in, drop your shoulders, look up, and then breathe out. Round your back towards the ceiling. Breathe in. Drop your back and chest towards the floor, look up, and then breathe out. And then continue that pattern. We're going to do about 8 more. The next one is going to be thread the needle. So we're staying on all fours. You're going to take your top hand, lift it up towards the ceiling so you open up, and then you're going to thread it through underneath. Lift up, reach towards the ceiling. Knees are staying flat against the ground. Thread the needle through. We're going to do 4 more. You might notice that the more you do this, the further you're able to reach up towards the ceiling and the further you're able to thread the needle through. Last one, breathe in, and then breathe all the way out and really reach your hand through, and then you can take your top hand and reach away from your head. So we're just going to sit here for about 10 seconds and take a couple deep breaths. You might start to feel a stretch either on the shoulder that's down, so this arm that's touching the ground, or the top arm, a stretch through the lat here. There's no wrong answer of where you feel the stretch. Okay, good. Now we're going to switch to the other side. So instead of left arm up, we're going to go right arm up, or whichever arm you didn't do. It's always interesting too, because as you open up one side, so we just opened up the left side, the opposite side starts to feel a little bit tighter, right? And then as you loosen it up, you get more motion. Good, and just a couple more. And on this last one, you're going to reach up as far as you can, and then thread the needle through. Really reach as far as you can. Take your top hand and reach up and away. Similar to the other side, you might feel a stretch on the down arm or the top arm, or both. Let's just take a couple deep breaths into this. Really try and expand through the rib cage. And then as you breathe out, feel your rib cage decompress, and then you'll be able to reach deeper into the stretch. Okay, good. Next up is we're going to do wide-legged child's pose. So your knees are a little bit wider than your hips, and you're just going to push your butt back, reach your arms forward. And then we're just going to hang out here for a couple of seconds, just let your body get used to the position. Then you're going to walk your hands to the right and really reach your left hand up and away, like you're trying to reach away from your body. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Feel the stretch deepen. And then we're going to walk our hands to the other side. Now you're reaching your right hand as far as you can up and away. Take a deep breath in. Feel the rib cage expand and breathe out. Feel it deflate and reach deeper into the stretch. Okay, good. So now we're going to walk our hands back up. And we're still going to stay on all fours, but this time we're going to oscillate between downward dog. So you're going to bring your legs and hips up towards the ceiling like this. And then you're going to go into a plank position, drop your hips and look up. And then we're going to go back up into downward facing dog. Breathe in and then breathe out. Drop your hips and look up. It's really important that as you push your hips back, you're really trying to reach your hips up towards the ceiling and dropping your chest down towards the floor. And then we're going to go back into the extension or back bend. We're just going to keep repeating this movement about 5 more reps. What a lot of people don't realize is how closely related the core and upper back are to the hips and lower extremity. As you can feel in this back extension, you might start to feel stretching through the front of the core. Those are the hip flexors, or just your abs if your abs are feeling tight. But as you go into this back extension, feel how it goes all the way down into the hips even. So we can feel it stretch from basically the rib cage down if you're feeling tight in that area. And then last one, we're just going to sit in the back bend for a second. Take a deep breath in, and then you can even tilt your chest to the right so you feel a stretch more on the left side. And then rotate your body towards the left, and you'll feel a little bit more of a stretch on the right side. Take a deep breath into the stomach, and it will amplify the stretch. Good. And then we're going to go back up into downward facing dog. And the same thing, we're just going to hang out here for a second. You can pedal your feet if you'd like. Really lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out. Okay, good. We're going to go back onto all fours. So this is tabletop position, but essentially what we're going to be doing is hip cars. So you're going to have your back be a really solid foundation. Picture a glass of water balancing it in between your hips and your shoulder blades. So as you lift your knee up towards your nose, bring it out to the side and all the way around, you're basically forming a big circle, but really trying not to rotate the shoulders too far up. So I'm not like doing this, or you're not rotating the hips up. So you're not leading the movement by rotating your hips, right? That's why we're balancing that glass of water. So you basically are trying to draw as big of a circle as possible with the right hip. You're probably on about your 3rd rep right now. So we're going to do 7 more. So it's like you're trying to draw, like I said, as big of a circle as possible while keeping your back and hips flat. If you feel any pain or pinching, then I want you to narrow the circle just a little bit. And then also notice that as I go up and I go out until I can't, then I draw my leg back and lift my leg up towards the ceiling and then around. Okay, good. Now that we went clockwise, we're going to go counterclockwise. So we're just going to do the opposite direction. You go up until you can't, bring it out until you can't, and then round it up. It's always important to remember to breathe as well. Good. Now we're going to switch to the left side. So we'll start with clockwise. So knee up, out, and around. Remember to keep breathing. Try and take deep breaths into your diaphragm. If you feel like you need to do more reps, you can always just pause the video and add more in. Okay, good. Now let's switch directions. So you're going to lift your leg up until you can't, out until you can't. Really try and make the circle as big as possible. Some hip popping in here is normal as long as it's pain-free. But like I said, if there's any pinching or pain, then you want to narrow the circle. Okay, good. Next up is we're still going to stay in the tabletop position. You're going to activate your core just to make sure you have a solid foundation. And then all you're going to do is just bring your leg out to the side. So you're bringing your leg up. These are called fire hydrants. Same thing goes. You're trying to keep your back and hips as flat as possible. Good. Now we're going to switch to the left side. All right. Now we're going to sit on our butts and put your legs straight. You're going to open your legs up into a V. So as you're in a V position, you're going to face your shoulders towards your right leg. Walk your hands down until you can't. And then you're going to take your left hand and reach up towards the ceiling. And then reach up and away towards your foot. So for me right now, I feel it in my back. You might feel it more into the lat here, or even into the hamstring too. But you can mess around with your arm position. So as you reach up, you can rotate up more towards the ceiling to deepen the stretch into a different spot. Or you can rotate down and reach forward and feel a different spot in the back or the hamstring. So sit in a spot that feels most tight to you, and then we're just going to take a couple deep breaths. And on the exhale, you try and reach as far forward as you can. Okay, good. So we're going to switch to the other side. You're going to turn your shoulders towards the left, walk down as far as you can, take your right hand, open it up towards the ceiling, and then reach up and away over your head. You might notice that one side feels different than the other. It might be a little bit tighter or looser. That's completely normal, but if one side's more tight, you might want to just sit in that one a little bit longer. The same thing, open and close, just to find what spot's tight, and then you'll just hang out in that spot. So take a deep breath deep into your lower abdomen. Feel the low back stretch, and then as you breathe out, lengthen deeper into it and go a little bit further down your leg or reach a little bit further. Okay, good. Now we're going to go on to your knees. We're going to do a kneeling hip flexor stretch. So basically, you're just going to be on your knees, right? And then I'll actually do it from this direction. So the key point to this is we don't want to arch the back. You just want to actually squeeze your butt and then push your hips forward, and you should feel a stretch through here. If you don't feel a stretch, then you can lift your arm up and then take a deep breath in. So you're just going to go in and out of it. So we're going to go in and out 5 times. And then you can hold the stretch at the end. So we're just going to hold that for a little bit. If you don't feel the stretch at all, try and tuck your tailbone. So like you're tucking your hips underneath, and then push your hips forward and see if that makes a difference. Good. Now we're going to switch to the other side. So tuck your hips, squeeze your butt, and then push forward. We're going to go in and out 5 times. If you still don't feel a stretch, then you can put your arm up. And then just take a couple deep breaths into the stretch. Next up, we have the hip adductor stretch. So from here, you're going to still be kneeling on one leg. If this is hard on the leg, then you can put a pillow or a towel underneath it. You're going to take your leg, put it out to a 45-degree angle or more if you want it. And then all you're trying to do is bring your knee straight over your first toe. So you're going to go down and then take your elbow and push it out. So for an example, you can put your other hand down and then just move in and out of this. The goal is to feel a stretch through the adductor here. So if you're not feeling it, you can put your foot a little bit further away, so then you can reach a little bit further, or you can widen your leg out. But it's just making sure that your hips are pointing straight as your leg is out to the side. That's what's going to amplify the stretch. It's almost like you're trying to pull your knee this way while keeping your hips this way. So let's go in and out of it 5 times. And then you're just going to hold. So we'll hold for about 10 seconds and really try and picture that adductor lengthening. You can take a deep breath in and then breathe out. Good. We're going to switch to the other side. So 45-degree angle. Knee tracks over first toe. You're going out to the side. Just go in and out of it 5 times. Like I said before, if this feels tighter on one side, you can always just pause the video and do extra reps. And then we'll hold. Next up is hip 90-90s. So to make it easier, you're going to be on your hands on your back like this, and you can give your body more of an opening in the hips here. So your legs are going to be at 90 degrees each, ankles are at 90 degrees too, and then you're just going to try and keep your feet where they're at, but then move your hips. So to make this more difficult, you can put your hands closer towards your body. So before I was like this, now I'm here. But if that's still too easy, you can also come up with no hands and try and do the hip movement from there. Let's do 2 more. Okay, good. Next, we're going to lay on our back. And then in this position, you're going to cross your leg over. So we're in the figure 4 position. And then you're going to take, so if this is my right leg up, you're going to take your right hand and push against your knee, and then let your whole hip rotate to the side. So if right now I feel in my low back and into my glute here, if you want to amplify the stretch, you can bring your knee up more and then let it drape. So my knee is higher on the, so my left knee is higher now than before. And then take a couple deep breaths. But what I'll just like reiterate that. So as I'm draping it out to the side, this would be an easier stretch. See how it's lower? Or you can slide it up and it amplifies the stretch. Okay, good. Let's switch to the other side. And then you'll just take a couple deep breaths into this position. Nice. And then lastly, we're going to end on, I'm blanking on what this is called. Is it seal pose? Dolphin? Oh my gosh, it'll come to me. But basically, you're just bringing your leg underneath as much into a 90-degree position as possible when you're walking your hand over it. Then you can just hang out here. You can also rotate your shoulders on top of the hip like this, and then find a spot that's extra tight, and then hang out in that position. Again, we're trying to take really deep breaths into the diaphragm. You can try and breathe all the way into the pelvic floor too, so try and take a deep breath into the tailbone. And then breathe all the way out. And as you breathe out, relax deeper into the stretch. Okay, good. And then next, we're switching to the other side. Same thing goes. Walk your hands down. Move your shoulders side to side. And then take a couple deep breaths. All right, let me know how you liked that type of mobility work versus the other type.